The Elimination Chamber is this Saturday, and today I will preview some potential storylines coming out of it, as well as give you my official predictions. We're going to start off with the Women's Elimination Chamber, and we're going to go one by one, and I'll give you each reason why they should and shouldn't win. Let's start off with Liv Morgan. Before the last Raw, she was my pick to win the Chamber. It made sense to me at the time, and now that she's the tag champ, her chances has dropped dramatically. I highly doubt they have Liv win the tag championship and the Chamber in the same week. If I remember correctly, I don't think a tag champ has ever won a singles chamber or a Royal Rumble, and I don't see it happening now. Next up is Naomi. I just don't see Rhea versus Naomi being a WrestleMania worthy match. That's more like a B-show PLE match. She also has the Jade Cargill situation to deal with. She will probably be involved with that for Mania, so essentially, that eliminates her from the win in the chamber. After Naomi, we have Roxanne Perez. And just like Liv Morgan and Naomi, she has a pretty low chance of winning. This will only be her second match on the main roster, and I don't think they'll rush her to the main event championship picture. They might go the way of Tiffany Stratton last year and give her the Money in the Bank briefcase, or just make her Queen of the Ring. You don't want to jeopardize her getting overpushed this quickly. Her first feud on the main roster will probably be against Bayley. Speaking of Bayley, she has a decent chance of winning. Higher than the previous three, but lower than the other two. She is currently in a weird spot right now. Their Mania match is dependent on Roxanne either staying on the main roster or shuffling between Raw and NXT. If she stays on Raw, well, there you go, that's her match. But if she shuffles between the two, then what does she do? She's kinda in no man's land right now. But she does have 6 weeks to build something though, and I'll let Triple H cook. And we have the two favorites to win the match, Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. Let's start off with Alexa Bliss, as she just returned a month ago and the crowd is still behind her. But the problem is, she hasn't really interacted with anybody. She does have the Y6 coming after her, but does that really impact anything? There are two ways they can approach this. One approach could be that it's the main story for her, and at Mania, she does something involving the Wyatts. Or the other approach could be it's in the background chipping away at her while she's trying to fight Rhea for the title. With her losing, which is certainly possible, causing her decision to join the Y6 once and for all. Either approach makes sense to me. And finally, we have Bianca Belair, and she is the most interesting option to me. Just a week ago, I thought she had no chance of winning. And now that she dropped the tag titles, it increased her chances dramatically. Like I said earlier, tag champs have never won a singles chamber or a rumble. And now that she's dropped it, things get real interesting. The part that makes this interesting to me is that she still has the looming Jade Cargill situation she has to deal with. Now that can go multiple ways. It all depends on who really attacked Jade. If it's Naomi, then she'll be put in the middle of a feud between her two friends. That can be even better if while she's in the middle of their feud, she is also trying to capture the world title at the same time. But if someone else attacked Jade, then she will probably be in a regular tag match at Mania instead. Now that I laid out all 6 competitors, who do I have winning? For my winner, I have Alexa Bliss. It is only between her and Bianca. And Bianca has more to gain from losing than Alexa. If Alexa loses, she doesn't really have anything to do outside whatever the YS6 story they're going to tell. When it comes to the YS6, they like to take their time and tell stories over several weeks and months. And I don't think 6 weeks is enough to do it. So, winner, Alexa Bliss. The next match on the card is the unsanctioned match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And this match is probably going to be the match of the night. With these two, you're guaranteed at least a solid match, no matter how many times we've seen it. The result itself doesn't really matter. Not in a this match is useless way, but in a we know how this is going to end up going way. Kevin is going to fight Randy, and Sami's going to fight Karrion Kross. They have already teased Sami vs. Kross on screen several times on TV already, and I don't think they will just drop that story in favor of a triple threat with Kevin and Randy. And speaking of Kevin, he's going to fight Randy. And we all know Randy is not going to let that slide. He going to start hearing voices in his head and he going to do something wild. Punt kick, RKO off or something, I don't know. He's going to do something crazy. As for my prediction of who's going to win, I got Sami. You can either have him win via roll-up and have Kevin attack him after, or just have Randy return and cost Kevin the win. Either way, I think Sami wins. Next up is the tag match between Tiffany and Trish versus Nia and Candice. Let's be real for a second. This match was just thrown together just to get Trish on the card. She's from Toronto where their show is taking place. And there really isn't a point to this match because they're saving Tiffany versus Nia for a future PLE. They're going to give the win to Trish and Tiffany just to make the home crowd happy. Hometown hero gets a win and the champ looks strong for WrestleMania. It makes sense. So the winner, Tiffany, and Trish. And in the main event, we have the men's Elimination Chamber. Just like the women's, we're going to go one by one and give you each reason why they should and shouldn't win. Let's start off with Logan Paul, and I'm letting you know right now, he is eliminating a fan favorite from this match. Either CM Punk or John Cena. And whoever he pins is going to be his WrestleMania match. He has had 2 promos with Punk over the last month or so, with one of them ending in a scuffle. That could be leading to something. There's also a rumored match between him and John that's supposed to take place. This is probably the most hated option out of all these options, because no one, and I mean no one, wants to see Cena's last Mania match ever be against Logan Paul of all people. That will be a waste of everybody's time. So Logan Paul is the least likely to win. The second least likely is Damian Priest. The problem with Priest is that if he doesn't win, what is he doing at Mania? All of his interactions to this point post-Rumble have went into the chamber. There isn't any hint of who his Mania opponent would be if he didn't win. He's kind of stuck in no man's land right now. He had that interaction with Braun Strowman, but Braun is more focused on Jacob Fatu right now. He had that one-off match against Carmelo Hayes, but I just don't see that being his match. I guess you can put him in a US title picture, but it looks like LA Knight is fighting Nakamura for it. Sure, you can make it a triple threat, but with the way the card is shaping up to be, it looks like it might already have a lot of multi-man matches. But they do have 6 weeks post-chamber to build something, so I'll let Triple H cook. These next 2 have a somewhat decent chance of winning. So let's start off with Drew. In my opinion, Drew has the 3rd lowest chance of winning. Him and Cody has had several interactions on SmackDown, so this isn't something we haven't seen before. Unlike Priest, he actually has a plan for Mania in case he doesn't win. Right now, it looks like his Mania match will be against Jimmy Uso. I know some people will hate it, but I personally don't mind. Sure, would I rather him be in the championship picture? Yeah. But I like Jimmy, and the attention he's getting right now is pretty good. You can put him in the US title picture, but I just don't see it. Seth Rollins also has a decent chance of winning. Not an extremely high chance, but a chance. The reason why I think he could win is that he has a history with Cody, fighting him 3 times in a row and then teaming with him at WrestleMania. So there's something there. We even seen that during their promo exchange on the latest episode of Raw. Seth also fits right into the Rock and Cody story more than anyone else in the match, and that can play a role with him winning. Him balancing the Rock and fighting Cody could be a nice reversal of what he went through last year with Drew McIntyre. But the thing that might prevent him from winning is that he has an angry Roman Reigns coming after him. After what he did to Roman at the Rumble, I would be mad too. He gave that man CTE, a concussion, turned his brain to mashed potatoes. He got cooked. And knowing Roman, he's gonna get his revenge one way or another, and that may cost him the match. And the final 2 are the overwhelming favorites to win the match, CM Punk and John Cena. Started with John Cena as he's currently the favorite to win it all, and I understand why. It's his final run and he's going for his 17th world title, and him winning the chamber will make him one step closer to making that happen. Cena vs Cody is a dream match that everyone will be excited to watch. He also fits perfectly into the Rock and Cody story as well. As Cena said himself, it would be best for business if he was the main event, and he's right. It would be very weird if Cena's last WrestleMania match is somewhere in the middle of the card. It just wouldn't feel right, so everyone wouldn't be mad if he won. However, the only thing against him is the 17th world title chase itself. You're wondering, what do I mean by that? I mean, the longer you stretch it out, the more intrigued people will be. Did you see how people reacted when he lost in the Rumble? Imagine how they would react if he loses again. They seem to be rehashing his 2012 storyline where he was doubting his ability to win the big one. It's also in Triple H's style of being patient and not rushing to give someone a title no matter how hot or popular they are. I just think there's so many stories you can tell if Cena loses than if he wins, but I wouldn't be mad if he did. And finally, we have CM Punk, who was also one of the favorites to win it this year, and rightfully so, because he deserves it. Just like Cena, a match versus Cody would be a dream match that we all be excited to watch. He also fits right in with the Rock and Cody story they're telling right now, with him having some real problems with Rock back in the past for taking his main event away. And the story you can tell with him finally getting his main event and the Rock trying to intervene with it could be very good. Or you can pull the swerve of the century and have Punk take the Rock's offer of being his champ, turning heel and getting his main event that way. There are so many stories you can tell if Punk wins. However, the thing that's holding him back from potentially winning is his promos and interactions against Logan Paul, because he's going to need a match for Mania. Why build Logan Paul versus someone else when you already have something going on with Punk? I personally don't want to see that, but it's an option. Another thing holding CM Punk back from winning is the rumored triple threat match between him, Seth, and Roman. All three men absolutely hate each other, and after all three men were eliminated from the Royal Rumble, they let each other have it. And I don't think people will complain if this was Punk's match at WrestleMania. As for my prediction of who wins the men's Elimination Chamber, I have CM Punk. Despite listing 2 reasons why he wouldn't win, I still believe he will. He's getting up there in age, and with his injury history, we don't know how much longer he can still perform at a high level. We don't know how many chances he has left at getting his main event, and this is the perfect time to do so. Him and Cody could tell a good story, and it would be a nice change of pace and give us more matchup variety. Punk can feud with both heels and faces. Not saying Cody or Cena can't do that, it's just Punk does a way better job at it. You can have him feud with guys like Cena, Randy, Seth, Kevin Owens, Roman, and even have a rematch versus Drew. That's why I have him winning the Elimination Chamber. And that was my preview and predictions. Let me know yours in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that nudie bell for more wrestling video. I'm the Ghost of Wrestling, and I'm signing out. Stay spooky.